Hey everyone, it's Zach Wright from IMEO Company, Improving Management, Employees, and Organizations, where we help you achieve goals faster, grow with a purpose, and stretch for amazing with objectives and key results. Today, I wanted to talk about something that came up through one of my prospecting efforts this past week, which is, can you adopt OKRs too early? Now, we might be biased in this, but the answer is no. Because what OKRs are doing is they're taking your strategy, which should be created from your mission and vision statements, and you're finding a way to turn that strategy into an executable action, right? So let's say that your strategy, which ours was beginning last quarter or last year in Q4, was to transition the entire framework and business model of IMEO from broad business coaching to an OKR program that offers compounding efforts. And what that really means is that we were transitioning from broad business coaching, which wasn't really creating too much traction because we couldn't say, this is the result that you're going to get after you go through our program. We wanted to have something that was very tangible in a niche that we were experts in, and that's OKRs. So whenever I say compounding, what does that mean? It means that we wanted to develop different sections of the program that we could offer to customers in separate ways, but all together as well. For instance, we have our 4-week online OKR course. That's 4 weeks. It's the cheapest offer that we have. It's $89 per course. And anybody can take that, from the individual to the entire team to the entire company. So that's one portion of our 12-month OKR framework. Then we have our 3-month consulting package where we developed our own product. And I'll do a demo on that in a later video, but we have our own product where it has formulas, it has dashboards. You're able to see what we call a 360-degree view into your entire organization and into each department. And then in addition to that, we have a workbook that we work with companies and business leaders on to adopt OKRs. So we prepare you through the education piece with the online course. And then in the consulting phase, what we're doing is we're helping you build out that plan to implement your OKR strategy. And then we help you go through that with our consulting workbook and playbook. Then the last piece of the puzzle is 9 months OKR coaching. Now we have a playbook for this where we're helping leaders better understand OKRs so they can teach their team and be there for their team whenever they go to create their OKRs. And then after that 12 months, we kind of fade away. We always relate it to weight training. Whenever you hire a personal trainer, what are you doing? You're trying to get somebody in there to guide you in the right direction where you know what to eat, and then you know what to do whenever you're in the gym. And then eventually you taper off from that personal trainer and you start to take on that yourself. So the compounding piece is you can start with the 4-week course, you can start with the 3-month consulting, or you can start with the 9-month coaching. We meet you where you are in your OKR journey. And the reason that it's compounding is if you're a new customer and you start with the 4-week OKR online course and you don't purchase the entire 12-month package program, then that's okay. Because after the 4 weeks, you might realize, okay, this is a lot more work than we thought. We're going to go ahead and invest in that 3-month consulting package. And then again, after that 3 months consulting, they might say, okay, we actually need somebody here to help coach us continuously to actually build this out for the entire year so we can make sure that this is sustainable and it lasts a long time. So that's what we're doing. Now, going back to, is there ever a point in time when you shouldn't adopt OKRs, or is there ever a too early phase to adopt OKRs? The reason that we're saying no is because we've worked with solopreneurs and we've had them implement OKRs into their business. And the reason why this is important, or we find fascinating and we're so intrigued by it, is even though you're one person in an organization, it doesn't mean that you don't have different departments, right? So as a CEO, a solopreneur, you still have finance, legal, operations, sales, marketing. You have all these things, customer service, customer success. So what we do whenever we're working with solopreneurs or companies who are just starting out, who only have maybe a handful of people, we tell them to break out their sections into departments. So as always, you start with your company objectives and key results, your company goals. And then from there, each department will take their key result or what you're trying to accomplish or how you're trying to accomplish it, take that, and that becomes their objective. So now what you have is, instead of a list of 1,000 things, you have a list of what matters most to you in that specific time bound area or schedule. And so the reason that we don't think that OKRs can be adopted too early is because this is actually creating organization for your operations, for your execution, and more importantly, you're able to measure and track what it is that you're trying to achieve. And now you can take those and you can say, okay, this quarter, as one person or as a small team, we were only able to tackle XYZ. Then you reflect on that and you say, why was that? Was there a customer that took so much of our time that we weren't able to focus on the operations building side, right? There's a lot of things that are good. And on this topic, I've had another owner of a business ask me, well, what do we measure if we're just starting out? How can you have sufficient OKRs or especially key results if you don't know that baseline? My response to that is, sometimes, simply put, your key result or your objective is to create that baseline, because you have to start somewhere, right? So at one point of the journey, you had to start and find out your baseline. So in this example, let's say that you're trying to build a repeatable process for your sales organization. So let's say that's the objective. We want to build a repeatable process for our sales organization. Now you're asking yourself, what metrics do I track to do this? And if you're just starting, this is where the baseline key result comes into play. So what you'll do is, instead of saying we want to improve 5%, we want to identify, this is the key result. We want to identify the appropriate metrics that produce the best conversion rates. So now what you're doing, even though it's not necessarily quantitative, it's qualitative and it's binary. Because what you're going to do is you're going to start tracking data. And then at the end of the quarter, whenever you do your retrospective on what you learned, what went well, what didn't, what should we move forward with, what should we take away, you're going to be able to say, okay, out of all the metrics that we identified and tracked, X was the one that converted the most leads to opportunities to deals, right? And now once you have that, you can take that baseline and try to improve it in the next quarter. So to summarize what I just talked about, can you adopt OKRs at an early stage? Yes. And we actually highly recommend it. The reason is because you can identify your baseline and then compound your efforts into the next quarter and the next quarter and continue focusing on building out what you're trying to achieve. And then second, if you're a solopreneur or a smaller team, what you're able to do is you're able to break it out into different departments and have your goals organized where you can have more focus, more alignment, and less distractions on all these other things that come at you as an owner. And it's a better way for your team to be able to focus, and it's also a better way for you to be able to measure and track your progress other than just going in blindly without any type of goal setting framework. So I hope that this video is helpful for you. If you are someone, or if you are in a company that is looking to adopt OKRs or looking to introduce or reintroduce OKRs to your organization, like I said, we meet you at your OKR journey, and we offer a 4-week OKR online course. You can also have live sessions with me during that course. We have our 3-month consulting package where we offer our product, but if you have your own software tool, we'll help you identify that, we'll help you implement, and we'll help your employees adopt that as well. But then we also provide our workbook and playbook to go through and fully implement those. Same thing with 9 months of OKR coaching. What we're doing is we're providing you our playbook, and we're walking you through those actions that you need to take to really embed OKRs into your culture to see the biggest ROI from this. So if you are interested, in the description below, you can go ahead and schedule a meeting with us, or you can send us an email at info at imeoconsulting.com. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.